Hi Stampers! So fun coming to you again with another video. Finally, life has just been so crazy. Anyway, today I thought that we would focus on the new Stampin' Up! Embossing folder called Seaside. So you can see that it looks kind of like waves would look or something. And if you can see the folder, and it is another large one, but it works great in the big shot. So I started thinking about what could I do with this. So the first thing I did was to take 3 pieces of blue paper and I ran them through the big shot. Okay, and you can see, whoops, there we go. You know, it just makes a really nice pattern, but I thought how fun it would be to take a card and use those and cut them apart. So that's what I did. I cut the same 3 pieces, oops, out of the cards so that I could match up and get waves. And then from there, of course, we could put one of our little sailboats on there. I've already cut out the pieces, but that's from our new Swirly Bird set where we have the base of the boat, the big main sail there, and then the smaller sail like we used to make in one of our recent cards. So if I did that, how cute. And then it looks like it's on the ocean waves. You could then take your other pieces, use them on another card. Okay, and again, I'm just lining up the lines from this. So don't be afraid when you emboss a piece of paper, don't be afraid to cut it apart and just use a part of it. Okay, so another way might be to do totally different. And instead of doing this as waves, I thought, oh, if I turn it this way, how cute that would be as like limbs or vines or something like that. So I just, again, cut off a piece of it, and then I can take some pre-cut flowers that I have. And if I just put the flowers up and down with little brads or something, placing them all on, oops, that one's too big, all on the little vines. How cute of a card is that? And again, ooh, I've even got one there with a little rhinestone in it. But you can see how easy that is. And again, I just used a piece of the embossing folder. Okay, so then how about this one? You can see it's got about twice as many waves because what I did was I ran it through the embossing folder once, then I turned it upside down and ran it through again. So by doing this, it's giving me almost a double pattern, and I get a very angry C, I guess. So, you know, but again, you can run the embossing folder through more than one time. Okay, so then I thought, well, this would be fun. Let's run it through with watercolor paper. Then I can take my ink pen, my watercolor pen, and I just started filling in with little bits of re-inker. And I can make my waves. I can make them, some of them dark, some of them lighter. Probably made that too dark. I needed some more water. Okay, but the little raised areas in the embossing folder give you almost little wells you can use to paint in so that you can get the different sea colors. Isn't that a neat look? And then I said, oh, okay, then I could take that and I could cut it and I could use that as my waves. But how about if I went one step further and instead of cutting it, go ahead and make the top part like the sunset. Okay, so I could take a little bit of inks. You could see, run that through as well. Again, you would want to take a little more time with this than I'm taking. But again, the wells that are in here keep the inks from running together. And doesn't that give you a cool way to look at it? And again, if you wanted to put the sailboat on there, you could just put the pieces, oops, after painting the whole thing. And then you'd have your sailboat and you could put your little greeting up here or something. Okay, so then lastly, something that we've done, I know, before, and you may have forgotten about doing, is to actually put the ink on the embossing folder itself. So you can decide whether you want it to be on the raised parts or on the recessed parts. But I take a brayer so that I can get the color on nice and even. Okay, and again, if you can see, I'm just brayering this up. I'm just going to do one end of this. This is not a very dark ink. I'm using the Pool Party. I get this very inked up. Then I'll put my piece of paper in here that I had all nice and cut and set aside, and now I have absolutely no idea where it is. Okay, so we're just going to cut another piece quickly. Put it in here before this dries. Whoops, sorry, I knocked the thing. And I'll run it through the Big Shot. Okay, so by doing this, I can get ink. Whoops. I can also make a mess with my little flowers going everywhere. Okay, that was my Pool Party. I'll put that away. And I'll take the folder back out here. And as you can see, I wind up, this is, like I said, fairly light ink. So if you wanted to do that, and then you could take a second color ink and lightly go over with a sponge, you see how neat that is, that it just picks up on the raised lines. Okay, so again, I've used Pool Party and Bermuda Bay here. Again, if you wanted to, you could just cut along one of these wave lines, stick it on your card, put your little sailboat on there, and that would make another really cute card. So don't be afraid to cut the pieces apart once you have embossed them. Don't be afraid to emboss from both sides. Okay, so that will give you sometimes a very busy pattern, sometimes, you know, not so busy pattern, depending on how busy the embossing folder is. Don't be afraid to use the folder in a different way than it was meant to be used. Here for vines instead of waves. Okay, don't be afraid to watercolor and paint on your embossed image once you make it, because it's the wells in here with the raised areas make it a really nice palette for watercolor because everything stays separated. And don't be afraid to brayer the ink directly onto your embossing folder and then run it through the machine. And again, all I do with this, you can take a baby wipe, but I just run it under water and all of the color comes right off of it. So I hope maybe you've learned something today. Maybe you're interested in this new Seaside embossing folder, which I love. And also, of course, the sailboat I used from the Swirly Bird design. And the green card that had the thank you so very much was from the new Flourishing Phrases. That was for that one. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.